All right, I guess we can get started. My friend Anna was joining and I had a couple others, but I don't see them and I don't want to wait because I have the free Zoom and that only allows you like the 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and
So
you're gonna send it out to people or?
yeah, so I already recorded it. I can definitely edit it to where you guys aren't seen if that's cool, or if you don't care, that's great too.
Or
Cause
just cut out the beginning of our conversation.
oh yeah. I mean, even before you entered, it was Taylor and I like screaming at Moose for barking. So it wasn't great. So definitely. All right. So can you guys see my little slide that I made?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Isn't it cute?
Before you officially start, Jenny, I think that it would be good if all of us went off camera so it doesn't look like right now having four participants shows that there's only 4 people here, and I think it just would be better and cleaner, and no one would really know how many people are on if we go off camera, and then it'll just be a clean recording.
That works for me, guys.
I don't want to be on camera, so I'm motivated.
That's Kenzie's long way of saying she doesn't want to be on camera.
Like, I don't want to be on camera, so nobody will.
Yeah. But it would be a recording for you.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And that way I can just focus on looking at myself, which I love to do anyway.
Excellent. Okay, well, bye.
All right. I love you guys. All right. Yay. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining me. I'm so excited that you're here. This is my first live webinar. Nervous, but excited. And actually the feelings of anxiousness and excitement are the same in our nervous system. So it's all dependent on how you label those feelings. So I'm choosing to label it as excitement, which is really fun. But those of you that don't know me or what I'm about, my name is Jenny. I'm a holistic health coach from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And it's been such a wild ride as a career and so much fun. And really my bread and butter is just one-on-one programs with individual clients, just helping them reach their health goals through diet, movement, relationships, spirituality, work-life balance, literally you name it. It's all very much based off the individual. So this is my first time doing something like this, which is fun and kind of like for the masses and for everybody. So it's new to me and I'm really excited about it. So I have been just really like paying attention to what's been going on online and people in my other health coaching communities and just really everywhere. And I feel like stress levels are just like on the rise. And it's the climate, it's living in a pandemic, it's all these different things. It's this fast-paced, crazy world we're living in. And I also noticed that some people it's like a badge of honor almost of like, oh, well, I got like 3 hours of sleep and I was doing XYZ, or yeah, well, today I did this project. And it's like this competitive suffering almost of like, who's the busiest. And it really shouldn't be. And we really don't have to do that anymore. And I actually have this quote right here on this first slide from Dr. Mark Hyman. If you don't know who he is, he's such an idol and actually such a hottie. But he has an amazing podcast. It's called The Doctor's Pharmacy, like FARM pharmacy. But I love this. And it like totally struck me is that research estimates that 90% of illness and disease are related to stress, which is crazy and something that we can totally manage. So I'm just going to start and getting right into it. So I'm going to quote from Dr. Nicole Lapira. She is a holistic psychologist and I love her, another mentor of mine. So this is something called co-regulation. We look to our parents for clues about how to connect, how to navigate the world, how to cope with our emotions, how to cope with stress. And baby brains and infant child brains, they're just like little sponges, right? So we model ourselves and we mimic ourselves from what we see and what we're around. So parents, parental figures, we really pay attention. We really absorb how they handle their emotions, how they talk to each other, if they argue a lot, if they're stressed out all the time, that gets just naturally imprinted on us. And there's really nothing we can do about that. So what happens is we're built in and kind of like wired to live in this stress and to kind of be wired and craving this like high tense stress in our lives. And so that's kind of called the red zone. So we're going to go into the nervous system a little bit here on how stress kind of affects our bodies. So there's the two different zones. So there's on the left, the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's like the green zone. That's like the rest, digest, repair. Like this is the good zone. This is where we want to be. This is the goal of how we spend the majority of our day every day. And then on the other side, we have the red zone, which is the sympathetic nervous system. And what that is, that's like the fight or flight, right? That's like when we need that when we're driving, if you're a woman, if you're walking alone at night, or if you're being chased by a tiger, like whatever it is, like that heightened sense of awareness and just that like alert, stress levels are up. So you're focused, you're paying attention, and it's just kind of, it can wreak havoc on your body if you have too much of it. And what's happening, and a pattern that I'm seeing, and Mark Hyman and all of his researchers too, is just everywhere, is that everyone is living the majority of their life in this red zone, in this fight or flight, high stress all the time. And the problem is, if you're spending too much time in that zone, it actually wreaks havoc on your body, or it has the potential to wreak havoc on your body. And it can be pretty harmful if you don't remedy it. And so a few of those problems and issues here we have, it can show up as upset stomach, fatigue, headache, low sex drive, trouble sleeping, binge eating, weakened immune system, anxiety, depression, lack of focus, anger, irritability, lack of motivation, weight gain. So just weight gain as an example really quick. When you're stressed, your cortisol levels go up. And what happens then is that you hold on to that weight. So a lot of people have trouble losing weight when they're overly stressed out because their cortisol levels are so high. And that's kind of like a weird physiology thing that like traces back to our human nature from like caveman era. So like when we're stressed and like when things aren't right and those cortisol levels are up, like we hang on to our fat in our body because we don't know when we're going to eat next, So like it's very caveman era, but our bodies just haven't advanced from that. So that's still very real. So all these problems and all these issues, I'm sure you've seen it. I see the commercials for it all the time. There's a medication for like a lot of these problems. And there's ways to kind of manage these without having to resort to medications. And you've seen it for depression medications and ADD for lack of focus, and pills for low sex drive, and sleeping pills, and all these different things that we could really try to avoid in a natural way, instead of just living that like red zone, high stress life and taking a pill to kind of remedy those symptoms. So like a weakened immune system, a person with chronic stress, they're way more susceptible to getting the cold flu, viruses, infections. And that's such a slippery slope, because a weakened immune system can also lead to chronic illnesses like diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and all these things that are like pretty scary and pretty serious, really. But it's funny that these symptoms show up, like it's stress that can show up in these different ways. And the thing is, like, stress isn't going anywhere, right? Like we will always have stress and anxiety, and that's just the life that we live. Like it's always going to be around. But the thing is, we're here today to learn a few different methods, a few of my favorite methods on how to manage it and handle it, and how we show up to those problems when the shit is hitting the fan, So,
Hey,
hello.
hey, it's Nikki. A quick question. I don't know if you might know. So I'm kind of like the opposite. Like when I get super stressed, I lose weight. Like I can't keep weight on. Would that be just from like the cortisol levels and it just kind of throwing off my natural body chemistry, or?
Yeah, I mean, definitely anything so our bodies are such crazy, like well-oiled machines, in the sense that if something's off, it's going to let you know when. That could be weight gain, it could be weight loss, it could be hair loss in some situations. But just kind of like taking a step back, realizing what's stressing you out, and taking an inventory of what's going on and trying to rebalance yourself is going to help a ton. And I'm going to go through this whole list of the different things that I have, and then if we still have questions, I'll totally hop back on. Okay, I love you. All right, so the first one that I have, and it's simple and I love it, is just write it down. Just write it down. And I'm going to use Taylor, my boyfriend, as the example here. He tends to carry his stress, and it shows up for him a lot at nighttime, like right when we're going to bed. I'm sound asleep, just enjoying my life. And he is like tossing, turning, biting his nails, and just like these looping thoughts of all the stressful things that are going on and the day to day, whatever it is. And what happens is he doesn't get any sleep, So the one thing that I love to recommend is just write it down. Piece of paper, journal, diary, whatever it is. When you're in bed, just take a moment. If you're feeling stressed out, you're feeling you're not going to be able to sleep, take a second, write it down, get it from whatever is feeling inside your brain, inside your heart, get that stressful anxiety feelings, get those thoughts, transfer them from your brain to the piece of paper. And that way you can alleviate that and just kind of get a good night's rest. And I love this. And quick story. When I was in like my mid 20s, I was like broke as a joke. Like I had all my credit cards were maxed out. The interest was racking up. I couldn't make payments. They're calling me every day. Like, where's your payment? And I was just like overly stressed and just panicking, chaotic. It wasn't good. And mine would kind of come out like Taylor's in that sense during that period of my life, where it would be like Sunday night and I'm on the phone with my mom, because I would always put it off on my mom. And she would just tell me like, hey, Jenny, is there anything that you can do about it right now in this moment? Like, well, no, it's like a Sunday night. And I'm like, no, there's not. It's like, okay, well, why stress about it in this moment? And she's totally right. And I've been using that my entire life, or well, since I've learned that from her. And she's totally right. Like, if you can't do anything about it in that moment, your problems are still going to be there in the morning. So at least the least you can do is just do yourself this favor of getting a reparative sleep, a restful sleep, and be able to handle it a little better the next morning. So write it down. All right. This is the next one. Ooh, really, before that, sorry, I didn't have a slide for this. I just thought of it. Gratitude. Write down or say just 3 things you're grateful for. If you're in that shit, in that moment where it's just like, oh my God, take a second, take a deep breath, and just write down 3 things you're grateful for. It is actually impossible to be stressed or angry and grateful at the same time. And what this can do, it just allows you to take a peaceful moment to yourself and just look inward and take inventory of all of the amazing things that you have and are present in your life at that moment. And it can just help ease that and get you back in that green zone a little bit. All right, moving on. Exercise. We love exercise. It's amazing for so many different reasons. Boosts your metabolism, heart health, gets your blood pumping. And as far as stress is concerned, it's actually great for lowering those cortisol levels and boosting the endorphins, which are like the good mood hormones. So we want those. Those are amazing. If you're not a big workout person, it's totally fine. You don't have to be in the gym lifting weights or doing the classes, whatever. If you're not into that shit, it's totally fine. Don't underestimate the power of just a good old-fashioned walk. That totally works too. The point is here to just move your body, get your heart rate up, sweat a little bit. 10 to 20 minutes is really all that you need. And it shouldn't be something that you feel like is a chore and that you have to add on to your already full plate, because if it's something that you don't want to do and you're dreading it, you're not going to do it. So if it's jumping on a trampoline, jump roping, roller skating, yoga, whatever it is, if it makes you feel excited and it gets your body moving, hell yeah, we want to do that. That's the good shit. Okay. Next, don't kill me on this one, but try to limit your caffeine intake if you can. And the thing here, and I've learned this from my school when I was getting certified, they call caffeine the drug in a mug. And I've never been a big coffee person because I'm already just like, anyway. But this one's crazy to me. So there's no actual energy in coffee and caffeine, right? What it does is it just pumps adrenaline into your adrenal glands. And it really makes them work overtime in ways that they really shouldn't, in ways that they're really not meant to. So it increases your heart rate and gives you the jitters and eventually like leads to that crash, right? And no one likes that feeling. And caffeine takes up to 10 hours to leave your system fully, which is a long time. So like the morning coffee person, like, yeah, great, have your morning coffee. That's wonderful. The afternoon coffee person, like if you were drinking those like 3-4 cups of coffee a day, your body is just like crazy working overtime, like trying to keep up, trying to process what you keep giving it, which is like a little too much for our adrenal glands. And the crazy thing is like, and I'm going to use Taylor again as the example. He's like my guinea pig on everything. So he would drink like 4 cups of coffee a day and he would go to sleep and be like, oh yeah, I'm tired. I don't feel like the buzz from the caffeine anymore. But that doesn't mean your nervous system doesn't. So even if he's in bed and asleep, his adrenal glands and his body and his nervous system is still like firing on all cylinders, which leads to a not restful, not reparative sleep. So then you wake up in the morning and then you're tired and groggy. Then what do you need? Coffee. So it's all freaking connected and it's just absolutely crazy. I'm not going to tell you to stop drinking coffee or caffeine, Monster Energy, like whatever it is. I'm not going to tell you to stop. I will recommend maybe trying to cut out like the afternoon stuff. So if you're kind of like feeling groggy, like that 2-3 o'clock time, maybe try reaching for a big glass of water, going outside, getting some sun, doing a light stretch, just kind of get your body moving for that little boost of energy. And if not, actually tea is a great option. So green tea, black tea, they have this amino acid in it called L-theanine. And that is an amazing thing. It actually helps ease anxiety and stress. So you still get that alertness and that blood to your brain where you're feeling focused and good, but without the jitters and the craziness. And it's a really good amino acid for your body. So try tea. We love tea. All right, next, meditation. So when I was like first introduced to meditation, I thought it was going to be like this picture. Like I had to have like the cute workout set and the candles and the incense and the music. And that's kind of just BS. Like you really, really don't. And meditation is awesome. It is proven to reduce stress and anxiety. It lowers your blood pressure. The calming effect that it has on you actually lasts like hours after the actual meditation session, which is amazing. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it, especially if you're a newbie, if this is something that you want to try to get into. There's just a couple of my favorite ones here. There's the guided meditation, which I love. And there's different apps that you can do this on. There's the Calm app, Headspace. Those are all free. I use the Calm app. YouTube, Spotify, really whatever. If you just search guided meditation and do your own research into what feels right, by all means do it. It's like a nice, like someone's holding your hand while you're getting through it. There's the mantra meditation, which I love. So if you've meditated before, if you haven't, you want to get into it, it is very common for distracting thoughts to pop up. That's just how it goes. You got to sit down, you're nice and calm. And then it's like, oh, did I unplug my straightener? Oh, did I take this chicken out to thaw for a night? What am I going to do tomorrow? Like, it's just, they all pop up. It's very normal. But what you do with a mantra meditation is you can sit there and you repeat a word or a phrase over and over again, and it helps keep those distracting thoughts at bay. And that could be anything, just like, I am enough. I am enough. So it helps lower that heart rate and keep you calm and centered. And it's a positive affirmation, which is a bonus, but it could be whatever you want it to be. There's a mindfulness meditation. I really like this one. So this one is kind of different. So you pay attention to everything, right? So you're sitting there and any emotions, thoughts, noticing your breath, like just observing everything that's going on with you, mind, body, breathing, without judgment, and just paying attention to it is also a really, really good one. But the coolest thing about it is that it can really be done from anywhere at any time. Like I do mine in the morning when I first wake up, or else I just won't do it at all. So I wake up, I drink my water, I pee, then I meditate. 5-10 minutes. That's, if you have longer, awesome. But if you don't, 5 minutes is totally fine. It's not about like looking cool, like the lady in the photo. Like it doesn't have to be like that. If you're busy, you could do it in your car before you walk into work, or if you have kids or a busy household, like lock your bedroom door, your bathroom closet, whatever, for like 5 minutes. And it's really just about sitting in the present, being present in the quiet, and just melting away that stress and getting back to that green zone. We love the green zone. All right, next, social media detox. I love this one. This one speaks to me in a huge way. As my business has really gone more and more online and on social media, I definitely fell victim to the FOMO and the comparison and the feelings of inadequacy and all of the stuff that comes with it. And looking at other health coaches and these like models and workouts and outfits, I'm like, why don't I have this? Why can't I wear that? They're doing this, I'm not doing this. I need to be doing that. If they're doing this and I'm not, it's just stress levels like through the roof. And comparison and that FOMO can definitely do that. And the internet is a wild place. But the cool thing is like you can either be influenced by it or you can go that way with it. You know, it's totally up to you. Doing a detox and just deleting it from your phone for a day, a week, a month, whatever it is. And just taking that time to just like recenter and live as you and not compare and dress how you want, do what you want, say what you want. You don't have to record your Instagram food, guilty. You don't have to do any of that stuff. And if you don't want to delete it fully, unfollow people. Like it doesn't matter if you know them, if you don't, if you're looking at something and it's not making you feel good, you don't have to look at it. It's awesome. You can just unfollow them. It's really easy. No one's going to care. And if they do, so fucking what? Sorry, my language. So definitely love a social media detox, which kind of leads me into boundaries. Like you got to protect your energy. Like this is your life. And if you are a people pleaser, kind of like myself, like it's really easy to say yes to people all the time, even when your own needs can kind of fall by the wayside, which we don't need. We're not doing that anymore. We're making ourselves a priority now. So, and my friend Katie's mom told her this, she told me this, that no is a full sentence. And I was like, oh my God. I used to come up with the most extravagant, like BS stories on how to get out of stuff instead of just being honest with myself, like picking up my britches and just saying like no, I'm sorry, I can't. It doesn't need to be a whole song and dance and a lie. It's just being truthful with yourself and the other people and just laying out those boundaries. And you're going to respect yourself so much for it. Whether it's a needy friend or family member that kind of takes advantage, or boss or coworker, just if you need to set those boundaries up and say no, say no. You can't pour from an empty cup. And like flight attendants, like you put your own oxygen mask on first, right, before you help other people. So you got to take care of yourself. You got to prioritize yourself. And if it means saying no, then say no. And it's just going to make you feel so good. All right, we're going to move on to sleep. Sleep is so effing important. Oh my God. So this can be kind of a slippery slope here. So stress can lead to like a lack of sleep, and then you're not getting a restful sleep. So you wake up and then you're kind of more stressed out. So it's like this crazy catch-22, and it can be kind of messy. Sleep is getting a good night's sleep lowers your cortisol, gets you back in that green zone. Getting good sleep lowers your inflammation. It helps your digestion. It's good for your gut health. It is good for every single part of your body, and all of those other things like your sleep and your low cortisol and your proper digestion. If all of those are swimming and like moving properly and great, like we need that. And I know sleep is kind of tough, especially now, because like even sometimes I'll have like my phone in my face or like watching TV, and that blue light from the screen, like computer, TV, phone, whatever it is, that actually mimics daylight. So we think it's time to be awake. So if we're on our bed and we're scrolling, our brains are telling us that it's daytime. So try to do no screens for like an hour before bed, low lights, try to maybe just like a warm shower, and just giving yourself that extra time to wind your body down to that circadian rhythm that we're supposed to have, that like low light, dim nighttime. You're going to get a much, much more restful sleep. And then that leads us to eating good foods. You got to eat the right foods. So lower inflammation, lower cortisol levels. It all balances out. Eating a good diet is huge for low inflammation. And like sticking to like good, clean vegetables, single ingredient foods, lots of water. Try to limit your processed foods and alcohol. But I like to do the 80-20 method because like I love my life and I don't want to not have wine and pasta and cheese and all the good stuff, because that's like, what kind of life is that? So like 80% of the time, if you hold yourself accountable and you eat the veggies and you eat the clean meats and good foods, then you can enjoy the other things without the stress and the guilt, and just having those good clean foods is going to help everything else. It's a good slippery slope in that way. All right. And this is the last one. And honestly, before I logged on, I looked at this and I was like, fuck, I didn't even make that playlist. Like it was on my list of to-dos and I just didn't do it. But anyway, I'm not giving you a Spotify link for good mood playlist, good mood playlist, because I forgot. But whatever it is, upbeat music, upbeat mood, and stress levels just kind of naturally fall away. So it releases those endorphins, it reduces those cortisol levels, and it gets you back in that green zone. So if you want to turn it up loud, shout, dance, scream, whatever it is, by all means, go for it and just enjoy it, by whatever it means you need to do. I'll give you a link to my Spotify if you want, but it's honestly just like a lot of show tunes, and I don't know if anyone else even likes to dance to those. So you're on your own, but you'll be fine. All right, guys, so that's it. That's all. That's what I had. I'm so happy that you were here and you joined me, and it was fun. And I hope you learned something. And, you know, if anything, like if you choose to do like one of those things, two of those things, all of those things, awesome. But remember that like life happens and it gets kind of crazy, and that's totally normal and it's totally okay. And you don't have to implement all these things tomorrow. Like you don't have to start eating like the super clean diet tomorrow and start doing like the sleep hygiene routine tomorrow. Like take it slow, do what works best for you. If anything, like just sit there. If you're in a moment of stress and like that, and those feelings come up, just take a moment and pause and just take like 3 deep breaths, because that can make all the difference too. And it can help put you back in that awesome green zone, which is where we really need to start living the majority of our lives, so we can age better, get better sleep, have better sex, and like everything else just goes good from there, right? So thank you for being here. And I'm gonna, I think Zoom is kicking me off in a couple of minutes, but I'll stick around till then. If you guys have any questions, we can get into it. So let me know.
I don't know if I have any questions so far. I'm trying to think. How difficult was it for you to like finally for the first time just like say no, like set that boundary and say no?
It's hard, really hard, but you have to, I mean, you're doing it for you, right? Like if you're not going to do it, no one else is going to do it for you. Like,
right.
Will continue to, I don't know if they're like walking all over, I don't know the details, but you got to just it's like ripping the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
It's not easy. But once you do it, then
trying to come say hi.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
I was like, get out. It's women only.
Oh, it's fine. Oh, it's totally fine.
Yeah, I feel like that's like part of one of my issues is just like I say yes to everything, and then I just have like too much on my plate, and then I get overwhelmed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing to start practicing for sure.
It's going to be one of those things that once you do it that first time, you're good to go after that. It's just that one time that's like the hardest. But as soon as you do it, and it doesn't need to be like, well, I can't because actually like, I have to take my grandma's aunt to the hospital that day. Like, just like, no, sorry, I can't. And that's it.
Or like, anything rude, but just put it down there firmly.
Mm-hmm.
But I was on that last slide, music, it made me think of Naco.
Yeah.
And that song, The Body Talks and Meditation Helps.
Oh yeah. I mean, totally. And I feel so silly. I was supposed to make that playlist and whatever. I just forgot. So it's fine.
Yeah. Hey girl, whatever. It's all good. We might have to link in later and try to see if you've built one yet.
There's time.
Do you have any recommended Spotify meditation, or do you use Calm? Do you use the app Calm or Spotify for meditation?
I use Calm.
Okay.
I started off with Spotify, and honestly, I just kind of like put in the search and just like bopped around at a couple, didn't like it. I liked a couple of them. I don't even remember what they were, honestly, but Calm, you can subscribe to unlock more features, but there's plenty of great ones on the free one, which I love. And
yeah,
like,
I use
like 15 minutes, which is great.
I use Insight Timer, and they have a ton of different meditations that you can like follow along with someone, or you can do it solo, or you can actually create your own meditation for as long as you want to. And they do daily check-ins, so you can say like how you're feeling that day, and they kind of keep track of it so you can see like your progress and everything. And it's like a big community, so that's another good one. It's free, and I've been using it forever.
Nice, good to know. I haven't heard of that one. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love the daily check-ins. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to kind of see like, okay, like a couple weeks ago I wasn't feeling so good, but look, my chart's going up and I'm that great now.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool. So that's a good one to try if you guys are ever interested. It's free. You just download it.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. Anybody else have anything they want to add or ask?
I'm trying to think here.
I was gonna ask.
If you have any other questions too, like you can just hit me up privately. Like that's totally fine too.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we're asking.
Girl, I'll be texting you.
I was gonna ask. Sorry, my computer's being.
Go for it.
What is the weirdest for you personally? Like, what's the weirdest stress-induced side effect or symptom that like you've had?
I'm so weird. Like
No. So this is what I'm asking, because I feel like I have seen, and I'm like very like, I feel like I thought at least I was like very cognizant of like the toll that stress can take on your body. And even if like mentally you're not feeling stressed, so like physically you could feel stressed. And then I had this super weird thing happen, and I was like, oh, I have no idea what stress is doing to my body. Like I've got to figure out how to bring this down. So I think everybody's weird, but that's what I'm asking. Because I am interested, like you said, like bodies are well-oiled machines, and like everything will like show you, but you might not even know until it's like, oh, this weird thing was happening and I thought it was X, Y, or Z.
totally.
Stress.
And that's
what
what's
happened.
That's what's kind of cool, is that it's like we're kind of just like puzzle pieces in that way, and it's kind of like a detective thing. Like you have to like a few of those things that were in the slides. Like if something's off, like sometimes I'll get like crazy cravings, and just like, so not necessarily like binge eating, but I feel like it's like borderline for me, and that kind of like lets me know like, okay, hey, something's off. So then from there I start like taking inventory, like, okay, did I get good sleep? Did I have a bunch of caffeine? What did I eat for dinner? What have I had to eat the past couple of days? Like what's happening that my body's expressing it in this way? And so I'll just like kind of go back to the basics, and I'll avoid alcohol and processed foods and sugar, and stick to just like water, making sure I get a good night's sleep, and like going to bed at 9:30 and doing all the things and like meditating, journaling, like setting myself up for success in those ways and see if that starts to make a difference. But it's usually like, it's crazy. It lets you know, especially if like cravings and stuff like that, like our bodies are wild. They know what they're doing, and if they want to heal themselves if given the chance. So by giving your body the gift of good, clean foods and water and sleep and low stress, it's going to be like, I'm good. I got this now. Like, we don't need anything else. I'm fine.
Yeah. Nikki, did you ask what was the thing that happened?
Yeah.
So
What was going on?
yeah. So a couple months ago in October, I have like an annual blood work done. Usually, I mean, I do it for my physical anyway, but my job offers this health insurance discount if you do this wellness fair. And like, you have to participate. So have my blood work done, and my iron was so high. Like, it was like the cap, like the range cap for women is usually like 170 micrograms per liter or whatever. And I was at 208, and I was like, so, of course I talked to my mom. I'm like, genetically, do we have hemochromatosis, which is your body's, it's this blood disorder where like your body can't get rid of iron. And so it stores in your organs. And pretty much the only treatment if you have it is like, you have to like bloodlet as often as necessary to keep your iron levels normal. So like, you donate blood, but they like don't give the blood to anybody.
Right.
Found out like genetically, my great grandma had it. My cousin has it. So I was like, I totally have this. And of course, like that alone stresses me out. I'm like, I can't drink anymore. Like, no more eating red meat, like all these changes that I was like, okay, I can do it. And like, I don't have any other health issues. And so it was one where I was like, I guess this is what I live with for now on. And that was like early October. Went on vacation the first week in November, came back, had a doctor's appointment, had my iron taken, and it was at 86. And I like, literally to my doctor, I was like, there's absolutely no way it swung that much. And she was like, I mean, it's a lot of things. It could be stress. And like, looking back, so I got my blood taken originally on October 9th. I was literally like 4 weeks into planning our wedding, which was on October 30th. And I was the most stressed out I think I had ever been, ever. Like, it was work a 9-hour day, come home, do wedding stuff for 3 or 4 hours, try to get some sleep. Everything was hitting the fan, and I was like, it's so worth it. I'm so excited for the wedding. But oh yeah, so my iron swung like almost 150 points in 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Take a toll.
Yeah.
It can take a crazy toll. So just like having a good tool belt of like remedies and things that you can do, and like just have like on the back burner of your mind, like when it gets to like crazy spots like that, like, okay, well, I know that I can meditate, or I could take my deep breaths, or yeah, what did I have to eat the past couple of days? Or have I had too much caffeine? Have I not had the best sleep? And just kind of take a look at everything that you've got going on and what you've been doing and patterns, and just adjust as accordingly,
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like you can't escape it, right? Like sometimes you're in the throes of a month of stress, and you're like, this is going to be a stressful month. And then it's, those are the times now where I'm just like, you need to take 4 days off and not do anything. Like, you need to sleep, you need to not, just like reset.
Setting yourself up for success in that way is totally key. And I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I used to get really bad panic attacks where I would like faint just from anxiety, but I kind of went to a little bit of counseling for it and journaled about it, and kind of found the root of what had triggered this, because I'd never had it before. And I mean, it was some family stuff, but just practicing like eating healthier, getting that good sleep, getting that exercise. Like, I mean, Jenny is the one that put me on the right track for that. I mean, truthfully, and I haven't experienced them since. And they were scary. I mean, I would just pass out random places, and, like one time I almost smacked my head on a countertop because it, you just go out.
Yeah.
But it was just my body, like the trauma and the stress from holding in that trauma. It was like, I got to get out. I got to get out of here. So it is strange what your body does, just based off of stress. And I even had a situation happen a couple of years ago where I got perioral dermatitis, like all around my mouth from just being so stressed. And that was not fun.
No, and it's our
like
bodies are just wild things. Like they really will let you know if something's wrong. And I feel like nowadays and age, like we treat our bodies kind of like cars. Like it's normal to like go to the doctor and be like, well, I don't know. And you like let someone else tell you what's going on when like your body's letting you know, like it's telling you that something's off. And
something's wrong. It's got to get out. Like you got to release it.
I'm not saying like, of course, medications are definitely helpful and useful in a lot of people's situations. I'm not saying like, don't see your doctor, but being able to like learn to be in tune with your body and learn to listen to what it's telling you is going to really set you up for success in a lot of different ways.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think like what you said, Jenny, there's the meditation portion and just going within and really just hearing yourself is going to be a really good benefit for that.
I know those are all great things, all good things to keep you in that green zone, which we love.
Yes, that's
all
where
right,
we
guys,
all want to be.
I think Zoom is going to kick me off in like any second. So thank you so much for showing up today.
Thank you for having us. This was wonderful information. I have my little journal here. I put notes.
Oh, yay. That was great.
This was so great. And I can't wait for the next one.
There will be another one. I don't know what it'll be about. We'll figure that out later.
Oh, yeah. We'll be excited, whatever it is.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.